Sonic Forces is mid. It is lacking in almost every single way. For the 25th anniversary of this franchise, Sega gave us a bland, boring mess of a game. For starters, the story has so much promise and potential that it is downright baffling that they screwed up this much when it comes to the story of Sonic Forces. That being that Eggman has developed a weapon that allows him to easily take over the entire world and defeat Sonic. And he does! In the first level! We play through Lost Valley, boom, cutscene. Sonic is defeated and we are told via text box that Eggman has taken over the world, and for the last 6 months it has been a hopeless war for all of Sonic's friends. Just to, in the very next level, we as the player go to save Sonic, bust him out of jail, and then the rest of the game is the defeat of Eggman. Wow, congratulations guys. In one level, you gave us the most interesting setup to a Sonic story, which you honestly could have dragged out through half the game, by the way. They seriously could have dragged on Eggman winning for like a couple of levels, if not an entire hour of gameplay. And then they completely skip over the interesting part of the story, that being the 6 months with Sonic being gone. We don't get to see how the characters react. We don't get to see how the world reacts. We don't even get Eggman doing a cool little jig going, ha 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 ha, I did it! I killed that hedgehog! Look at me! My egg-shaped penis is massive! We don't get any of that. Instead, we get a 6-month jump, and then Sonic's busted out of jail. Hell, the entire part of the game that we do explore, that being Sonic busting out of jail, and then helping the Resistance go, take back territories, and stop Eggman, isn't interesting. The 2 most interesting parts of the story were skipped over in the first 2 levels, and everything else that we have has no meat on its bones. Sonic shows back like, hey guys, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm ready to kick Baldy No Hair's ass. Look at me, I'm fast. And that's it. 28 levels later, the game just ends. Nothing happens in those levels. We go to Chemical Plant. Congratulations, you did a thing, we're winning the war. We go to fucking a Casino Force. Congratulations, you did a thing, we're winning the war. We go to Metropolis. Congratulations, you did a thing, we're winning the war. We go back to Green Hill 4 or 5 times. Congratulations, you did a thing, we're winning the war. We never get to see what we're doing that's actually helping us win the war. We never get to see why we're doing the things that are helping us winning the war. We don't get to play as any other character but Sonic, and some rip-off Sonic. Speaking of which, the only 3 characters in this game are Sonic, Short Sonic, and a rip-off Mute Sonic. So we get Modern Sonic, which is a super watered-down, boring, bland version of the Sonic Colors gameplay, for some reason mixed with the physics and momentum engine from Sonic Lost World for some reason. And Sonic stages are quite literally this. You have a straight line, you push forward on the analog stick, you hold the boost button, and occasionally, the mad lads at Sega will require you to push the jump button. I believe there's one moment in the entire game that you were required to stop, and one other moment where you were required to... no. At no point in the game are you required to slide. Which means, as far as I can remember, there's one point in the entire game which you were required to push the circle button, or the A button, or the B button if you're some weirdo that plays on fucking Xbox. And I don't even know what it is on PC. What, like mouse scroll wheel or something? I don't know. My point being, you hold the boost button and occasionally tap the jump button. That's it. There's not even any real 2D platforming aside from like the top route on the first level. So yeah, the entirety of modern Sonic's level design, both in 3D and 2D, is go forward, push jump. That's it. There's nothing else. You homing attack chain. There's nothing to Sonic's levels. There's not even any cool spectacle moments in Sonic's levels, which is a fucking shame. Because the few moments that this game do attempt cool spectacle moments are completely ruined by just being a cutscene with QuickTime events, where all you do is push the jump button again. They're not even cool cutscenes. They're just, oh wow, look, wow, ooh, wow, ooh, big scary snake, ooh. So, okay, so right off the bat, 1/3 of the game honestly fucking blows. So hopefully, Short Sonic and Rip-Off Sonic can at least do something cool, right? Well, okay, how about this? Wild pitch for you guys. Take the already boring modern Sonic, copy and paste all of his levels, remove the boost, and bring back the Wisp as guns. Why aren't you clapping? Why are you threatening to kill me? This is a great idea. I'm a Sega executive. This is a $1 billion idea. Better yet, the players can come up with the character design. Because we are going to make a custom avatar with no personality, no stakes in the story, no interactions with any of the characters. The best you're gonna get is, oh, hey there, buddy, I'm your friend, or hey, you're a rookie and I'm gonna kick dirt in your eye because I'm fucking Knuckles and I'm a bitch. And then at the end of the game, Sonic's like, wow, we're not so different, you and I. Want to suck each other's cocks? I'll do you first if you do me. There's nothing in this game. The avatar is literally just watered down modern Sonic with a gun. It's not even a good gun. It's just a fucking... All you really need throughout the entire game is the Fire Wisp that they give you at the beginning. And you never have to change Wispin. And even if you do, there's only like 1 or 2 other levels that require you to pick a different Wisp. And that is 2 levels where it is easier to use the Lightning Wisp, so you can use a Lightspeed Dash to skip most of the level. Which, by the way, is where the only cool level design is. Where it's like, do I want to play the level with the Fire Wisp or the Lightning Wisp? It's the exact same thing. You're just holding down the Y button. But instead of using fire to go up, you use lightning to go every other direction. It's... I'm already out of breath and bored, and I'm not even halfway through this script. So anyways, then we got Santiago the Hedgehog. And what does he do? Well, he plays like Mania Classic Sonic, but nothing like Mania he's closer to PS3 Generations Classic Sonic. And yes, I guarantee you there's a difference between Sonic X Shadow and PS3 Generations. I can't tell you what it is, but I know there's a fucking difference in between the two. I know there's gotta be. There's gotta be. But my point being, you have no speed, no momentum, no physics classic Sonic. You jump, you drop like a fucking rock, you hit an enemy, you shoot off to the moon. So... this is classic Sonic in name only. The level design is the exact same as modern Sonic's in the avatar, that being a straight line where you occasionally push the jump button. But now you get like 1 or 2 set pieces that were just reused set pieces from other classic Sonic games. Like the weird S-Tube in Green Hill and the casino where you go downhill and then get launched into a bunch of rings. Shadow's technically playable, except he's just modern Sonic with the Lightspeed attack as his default homing attack. You can technically play a Super Sonic and Classic Super Sonic, even though they're the exact same fucking same as the regular forms, except now you have infinite boost and you don't get hurt as long as you have 50 rings or something like that. There's really nothing going on in terms of playable characters. All of their level design sucks. Both of the Super Forms and Shadow are just DLC editions that were added like a month after the game released, so those are pretty fucking lame, and it makes sense why they're so damn... You had to pay money for Supersonic when the game first released, okay? You had to pay like $2.99 for the privilege to mindlessly hold the boost buttons. I truly have nothing to say. And the worst part about all of this is somehow I still like Sonic Forces. I still have like a very guilty soft spot in my heart for this absolute train wreck of a video game, okay? Despite all of the boring, bland, uninspired story and level design, and the environmental design being no fucking better, there are at least a few moments here and there where I go, wow, that was actually cool. Now imagine if that was longer, and the entire fucking game, which by the way, every single fucking level in this game is just barely anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes. Most of these levels, you're just getting by in like a minute. This feels like a 3DS watered down version of a mainline console Sonic game. And again, that's not even getting into the fact that you can't even play as Amy, Tails, Knuckles, Big, Vector, Cream, Espio. You can't play as anyone else but fucking Sonic and fucking Santiago over here. Oh, and who could forget my child, my son, Dave. My son, Dave. Look at Dave, everyone. So, the levels are short, the levels are bland, then how come I like this game? Well, if we look at levels like, let's say, Null Space, despite completely wasting the concept of Null Space itself, the actual level design where we're teaming up with the Avatar is kinda cool. It's a modern Sonic rail grinding level, so of course it's almost entirely automated with not even cool looking set pieces, but the part where it gets cool is that there are at least 5 separate pathways in this level. And if you want to 100% complete this level and in turn the game, you have to take all of these pathways at least once or twice in order to get all of the collectibles. So there's the main pathway, which you can pretty much play exclusively as Modern Sonic. And then depending on which Wisp you bring into the level, there are an additional 4 or so pathways. I could be exaggerating how many there are, but there's at least 2 that immediately come to my mind, and I believe there might be another one using the Void Wisp, but don't quote me on that. So for starters, using the Fire Wisp, you're able to jump around and do 3D platforming in the air, where the only indication of where you need to use the Fire Burst Wisp is a patch of rings, meaning you need to be locked the fuck in, perfectly timing your burst presses. Otherwise, you're just gonna fucking run out of burst and drop and die like a fucking moron. Which is cool. Is it, you know, still a little lame that it's in Sonic Forces and it's, not at all played up to its fullest potential? Yeah, admittedly. But that's where some of the Lightning Wisp paths come in. You quickly, instead of grinding on a rail, you jump up and do a light speed dash and boom! A completely different platforming section where you're having to like swing around a Spider-Man or something like that. My point being, there's like 1 or 2 levels in this entire game where the entire level changes based on which Wisp you bring into the level. And that is cool! If there were more levels like that in Sonic Forces, this game would not be as bad as it is. And again, it's not even a bad game, it's just a super bland and mediocre game. But yet, it's still a guilty pleasure for me for some reason. I don't know. So I've gone on and on about the bad. What about the good? Well, the soundtrack is just okay, which is surprising to say for a Sonic game. The modern Sonic tracks range anywhere from, I guess that was a modern Sonic track, to, not nowhere near the top 10, but top 15 maybe. And then we got Classic Sonic, which is all bottom 73. worst classic Sonic tracks, just barely above Sonic Superstars. Then we have the Avatar soundtracks, which bring back vocal tracks in a mainline Sonic level, which I believe haven't been around since... Gosh, I don't know, I think Sonic and the Secret Rings was the last... No, Sonic Generations, because we had City Escape. So yeah, I guess Sonic Generations City Escape was the last time we had a vocal track as the main level theme in a mainline Sonic game, so... It's cool. I mean, you know, it doesn't help that they tried to market this game as like a Sonic Generations 2, and then completely dropped the ball, by the way. So, yeah, honestly, good job, Sega. The most positive thing I can say about your game is you have an okay soundtrack if you ignore 1/3 of it. I like Fist Bump and all of the other vocals. Okay, maybe not all of the other vocal things, but Fist Bump, pretty good. Light of Hope, I like it as a credits theme. I couldn't help but think I would like it a lot more if it was in a better game. I think the idea of the Avatar would be a lot better, again, in a better game. You know, maybe one where you can actually do platforming in a fast-paced 3D platforming franchise. But, you know, fuck me, I guess. I guess Sonic is just all about holding down the boost button and never the jump button. Fuck me. What else is good? I guess it's kind of cool that we got Episode Shadow DLC, although it's completely fucking useless because there's no real cutscenes in the game. And it's just dialogue boxes with Shadow and Infinite, and maybe Rouge and Omega every once in a while. Honestly, there's nothing to Sonic Forces. It's a completely unoffensive Sonic game. But because when this game came out, it promised the moon and delivered absolutely fucking nothing, that's its biggest flaw. It's a 25th anniversary game with a really strong setup, but absolutely no execution, completely fails to stick the landing. But again, it's not even a bad Sonic game. This is the least buggy Sonic game I think I've ever played. And I have in fact played Sonic Heroes and Sonic 06 before, so... just let that speak for itself. And in terms of giving this a number rating, I don't even know what the fuck to give it. I'm just gonna go right down the middle. I'm gonna give this like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I think I'm gonna do a 6 out of 10 because a 5 out of 10 sounds a bit too harsh for this game and as unoffensive as it is, so yeah. A 6 out of 10. And if a 5 wasn't, you know, didn't feel as harsh as it was, I'd give it a 5. So, yeah. There you go. This game is boring. Don't even bother playing it, even if you're a super fan. I mean, I guess play it if you're gonna play every Sonic game anyways, but if you specifically want to get into Sonic, just skip this one, honestly.